Hi guys, I know you can barely see me. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about cultivating a calm personality, which is something that I have been working on almost my whole life. For those of you guys who do not know, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and I do get really anxious about a lot of things in my life, which I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to. So ever since I started my journey with God and surrendered my life to Him, I started to feel a little bit more peaceful, have a calm spirit. So I have my notes right here on my iPad that I'm going to be reading off of, just so I don't forget some things that I want to say. So if you guys are interested in learning on how to develop a calmer personality, then please keep on watching. So do you guys ever feel overwhelmed or anxious or fearful or stressed out about anything? I know I have. In the middle of hardships and trials and tribulations, it's really hard to find this sense of peace in your life, especially when you're being bombarded by all of these hardships, financial situations, losing a loved one, and just natural day-to-day stressors. It's really hard to pump the brakes and say, you know what, I'm gonna be okay. I have my trust and faith in God, and He's gonna walk me through whatever I'm going through. It's nearly impossible for us alone to be optimistic and have a softened and peaceful heart. It's a human condition to stress and worry and fear and be pessimistic about life, especially when we live in a sinful world. This day and age is absolutely so unhinged, at least, in my opinion. I feel like people are not really valuing developing genuine relationships and friendships because social media is out here and people are scared to just have meaningful relationships, for better lack of words, because of the options that they have out there. So it's really hard for people to find genuine, well-intentioned individuals to be in partnership with. God did not give us the spirit of fear, anxiety, or hate. The origins of fear and sin came about in the Garden of Eden when Eve had disobeyed God. When the serpent came and tempted Eve to eat of the fruit of the forbidden tree. The only rule God had set for Adam and Eve was to not eat of the fruit. And then fear was a result of their sin. They had disobeyed His command, and that was sin, and that's how it got passed down to us. So understanding the origins really helps us better understand this human condition, and knowing that we are to obey God. He is a creator, and He's the one who created us, for His very purpose, and He is the one who knows everything about us. He knows every single hair in our head, which is absolutely phenomenal and crazy to me, because I feel like, in this world, it's really hard to really fathom the idea of someone loving you so much that He knows everything about you. Like, not even my boyfriend. Now, he doesn't even know me like that, which is absolutely crazy. Not even my parents. So knowing that God really was intentional when He created us, and is intentional when He is taking care of us, and is intentional within our lives and whatever we go through, like, that should be enough security within ourselves to find in Him, to know that He's leading us to something great. So our job is to surrender and not worry about how we are to live in this life, to just allow Him to lead. Basically, just hand yourself over to God. When I got baptized, they were saying, like, are you really to surrender your life to God and allow Him to lead you and all of this stuff? And I was like, I know I can't do it myself. I know I can't rely on others or extra curricular or monetary or materialistic things to fulfill me. I feel like ever since I started following God and allowing him to lead, I became more secure in myself. I became so much secure in what I'm doing in my life, and I let go of idolizing so many things. One habit that I had myself was way before I was walking with God, I would try to find validation through my significant other or my friends or my materialistic things or my monetary things, how much money I'm making, my career, and it got the best of me. I felt like I was always anxious, always walking on eggshells because I wanted to make everybody else happy, always concerned about what other people are doing, and I kind of lost touch with reality. I wasn't having a great relationship with my parents, with my boyfriend, because I was so hyper aware of everything that he was doing and that they were doing that I forgot to live in the moment and really trust God with my life. One thing that happens, of course, when you begin to place your faith and life in God's hands is you begin to develop the security and trust, not only within yourself, but within him, that regardless of what you're going through, you're going to be okay. Things may be hard at times, and I know some people have it way worse than me and way worse than others, and I just pray that God brings justice to those who are going through a lot, and I just pray that he brings peace into their hearts. But God knows what he's doing. If he knows what he's doing around the world, he knows what he's doing with you. Don't think that these billions of people around the world are taking up his energy, that he's forgetting to invest in you. Like, he knows what he's doing with you, and it's going to take a while for you to really understand that. And I myself still struggle to this day and still have anxiety about my financial situation and my school, and it's kind of an insult to God when I'm not trusting him, or when I have anxiety, because that's basically saying that I'm not trusting God enough to allow him to bring what I need into my life. So just allowing him to lead is the biggest key to having a more fulfilling life. And staying content in every circumstance and trusting God that he has a plan, and it's not our job to know. In 2 Timothy 1:7, it states, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline." Our Bible offers many great reminders to really help us live a life in a biblical way, which is loving one another. He talks so much about loving your enemies, loving those who hurt you and forgiving those who hurt you. And one thing that I was a victim of is not forgiving people who have hurt me, and holding this bitter, uneasy feeling in my heart when I would come around this person. It would get the best of me. It's like it swallows you as a whole. And it's not our job to be in control of our lives. We get so obsessive with taking control of everything, such as personal relationships, our jobs, our financial situations and careers, which is understandable. But in most cases, we get so caught up in these other aspects of our lives that we begin to idolize these things, and it becomes part of our personality. We get arrogant, selfish, jealous, anxious, and when things don't go our way, we hold hatred towards one another. We're always in competition with one another. We're always envious of one another. And it becomes part of who we are, and that's not exactly what God intended our lives to be. This isn't happening through the Spirit of God. It is the Antichrist that brought sin into this world, and these are human conditions that God also willfully allowed so we can develop an idea of what not to do and what not to follow. which is obviously easier said than done. Believe me when I say that it's a habit that we have to work at daily, and it takes a lifetime. If you guys haven't read the book of Job, it's so good. So Job is about a man who was fortunate enough to really live a peaceful and fruitful life, and the serpent was basically telling God, Job is like a good man, but only because you haven't taken things from him or you haven't tempted him. And God was just said, like, I hand Job off to you, and know that he's not going to sin or give into this like sinful nature. And Job, the serpent, or God, what's it called? Satan took away his family, took away all his land, took away everything that he ever had, every possession that he had, and eventually he lost everything. And then, he still worshipped God, he still trusted in God, and eventually he was like that for a while. And then eventually God, proved to Satan that you can't tempt Job. So he just repaid him back, of course. But it's a really good book. I'm not sure if I explained it really well, so forgive me for that. And so we're in a spiritual warfare that we're going through. I feel like we're always trying to find that security in something. This generation is so used to being on social media. Everybody is just so, I don't know if this is the correct term, but like obsessed with money and monetary things and materialistic things, that there's such a lack of human decency now. Like, there's no loyalty out there. It's really hard, for the most part, which is one reason why I decided to just delete my social media and basically live under a rock, because I'm still in school. I'm in nursing school, and I just have so many things, in my life. My only priority is God, my family, and my boyfriend, and school. I still have a job and all that stuff, but I feel like once you filter through things that don't really help you grow as a person, your life is going to get so much easier. And that's why I filmed one of the videos of to delete your social media. But yeah. So in Psalm 46:10, it says, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still, cease, surrender. The Hebrew verb here translates be still to stop, be inactive, and let go. This verb is a command. Okay, it's a command that is translated to cease driving, to surrender, to stop, to just make peace and desist, to not worry. So getting rid of the motive to take control of all things. God wants you to surrender and be available for what He has planned for you. In Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 through 7, it says, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand." Simply stop and be still. Surrender at this moment to God and His dealings. Be still and know that He is God, and He is the one who can both give and take away. The one who can make the impossible possible. Nothing is impossible for God. I feel like that's another thing that we have to really get in our head. God knows the desires of your heart. He knows what we want. He knows what we crave. And He wants us to come to Him with that. He wants us to rely on Him for what we want, He's not going to give you what you need all the time, because sometimes that's not what you need. That's just a selfish thing that the mind or that the heart wants. He knows what we need and what, we want, but there are specific things that He has tailored to be in our lives, and sometimes it doesn't kind of like match to what we want, and then we think that he's not favoring us when he's probably preparing us for something greater. And if he's withholding a certain blessing, then that means other people involved are probably just not ready yet, you know? And I like to think about like me and my marriage, you know? Obviously, I've been with my boyfriend for a couple years already, and we've grown tremendously. You know, we have hurt each other numerous times. We've forgiven each other numerous times. And ever since we took like a good 5-month break and we got back together, we both found God within that break. And we have been growing so much ever since, you know, that breakup and finding God. And lately we have just been so much better at dealing with hardships that we encounter as a couple. But yeah, sometimes, you know, before God transitions you from this phase or chapter in your life, and other people are gonna be involved, he's gonna wait a little bit. You know, for example, I want to get married, but you know, maybe my future husband is not ready yet. He's got to probably grow a little bit, right? Or he's probably ready and I'm not ready yet. He's going to withhold that, you know? But one thing that we should know and understand is that he knows the desires of our hearts, and he's not going to withhold things that we want for the sake of just being mean, you know? He's not like that. So the next thing, we're almost done here. We do not have the mental capacity to do things on our own, let alone understand why he does things the way he does. It's not our job to find out. He is the Father, and he knows what he is doing. When we are trying to figure things out ourselves, it's kind of like an insult to God, as I mentioned before, because we aren't trusting his plan. King David trained himself to trust God, putting all things in his hands. My soul waits calmly for God alone. That's in Psalm 62:1. The book of Psalms is so good. You guys should really read it. I love the book of Psalms, Hebrews, Corinthians, John. What's another one? I have my big Bible right here. I have so many notes here too. Matthew is so good. Proverbs is so good too. There are so many books. The book of Acts too. But yeah, this is the one that I have. The ESV Study Bible. It's so good. As you can see, there's like so many sticky notes. Let me just show you guys a little bit of everything that I highlight, because everything is important, and I would love to just, yeah, cute, huh? But anyways, yeah, King David trained himself to trust God, and I feel like that's what I'm doing right now, and that's what a lot of us need to be doing. Like, we need to constantly train ourselves and train our hearts and train our minds that God knows better than we do, so all we need to do is just sit down and relax, you know? Looking for no other outside influence, no people, no circumstances, no monetary or materialistic things for a sense of worth and validation, okay? No people, no monetary things, no materialistic things to have a sense of self-worth. God knows how valuable we are. He's not going to compare us to how much do people make that, you know, on average in this day and age, like these YouTubers make millions. He's not going to determine our worth based on how much we make, on how much, you know, I don't know. I don't know how to say it. I feel like I'm going to go on a tangent if I try to explain to you guys, but we're not supposed to look for any outside influence, basically. God alone can and will handle everything that comes your way. Make him your strong hold. He alone can help you be more calm, but you have to follow him and allow him in. So be in the word, you know, get a Bible and just, you know, when I started reading the Bible, it was a little hard because I was like, how am I going to read this huge thing, you know? But once you start with like a book and then continue to read more and more, everything starts falling into place and making more sense. But I'm almost going to be done now. I'm going to pray over you guys and I'm going to read it. So Lord, I pray that your spirit of peace, love, and patience dwells in the spirit of those watching. Soften their hearts and choose them. Help us cultivate your spirit so we can become a reflection of you, my Lord, and get your message out to others, our brothers and sisters, and work in our lives, work through us. We surrender our lives to you in Jesus' name. Amen. So I hope you guys enjoyed or learned something within this video. Please let me know how you guys are interested in learning about the Bible or ministry. I feel like sometimes I have so many things to say, but I always go on a tangent because my brain just wants to say so many things at once that I just don't end up saying anything. So let me know, do a summary on the book of Genesis, on Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, anything like that, or just how to be, more optimistic, how to be, how to have like a peaceful heart, or, how to be less fearful, how to deal with anxiety, stuff like that, and then I'll do my homework and I'll read and, I'll try to do a quick little video for you guys, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video in some way, shape, or form. God bless you guys.